Signs of trauma, toxic, and abusive relationships. Hi everyone, I am Apollonia Ponti. I'm your dating, relationship, and life coach, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, I welcome you. I encourage you to hit that subscribe button so you're notified when I do post another video. Today's video, we're going to talk about a really serious subject matter that a lot of people find themselves in at least one time in their lives, and that's toxic, abusive, manipulative, or trauma relationships. I did a video about trauma bonding and what is trauma bonding, and I would encourage you to listen up here. I'll have it below in the description box to watch after this video, but also I'll put it up here on the cards. One important thing to understand in these relationships is a lot of people try to justify the abuse when they're in this relationship because of the fact that they feel inadequate, insecure, and they only want to be loved, or they don't have a really big understanding of what self-love is for them. Right? And that's what's really important is when we don't understand the love that we can uphold within ourselves is when we create unnecessary and unwanted relationships and things to come in our life because of the fact that we don't have our internal compass. We don't have boundaries. We don't even know what we want, and we feel like we lack and we don't deserve what's better. Or we look at everything else out in the world that does look better to us or what we would love to have as though we can never have it. And so the feelings of an inadequacy can chime in. Also, too, you can be someone that has listened to things from parents, from people, from bullies, and you believe the things and the negative things that they've told you, and you've lived your life as a victim from what they've said instead of changing that. And if you find yourself in this or you know that you've been here before, I encourage you to stay on my channel because I have a lot of videos that will help you through this and getting better in your relationships. A lot of times we get in these relationships and we say things to ourselves to help us justify the abuse. And I'm going to mention what we might say, right? She didn't mean to get angry. It's my fault. Or he didn't mean to get angry. It's really my fault. And we start to put the blame on us, and that makes us feel better because we're holding some type of responsibility. Another thing we might say is she puts up with me and still loves me. So why shouldn't I put up with his or hers antics to actually because that person loves me and I love that person. So we start making a lot of excuses. So we diminish our wants and our needs and our standards, and we actually don't have any standards or any foundation in a relationship. Also, too, we can say he or she had a horrible childhood and I feel sorry for him or her. Well, that's not your responsibility. And that's what we forget in relationships is it's that person's responsibility to be the best person that they can for themselves in order for us to be the best person that we can in the relationship. Because in order for two people to be amazing together, the both have to be thriving in their own lives, or else you're going to hit a plateau where the both of you still stuck and the cycle continues and it's just a broken relationship that's always arguing, that's always going on to the lows, and it becomes very toxic. And this is where this trauma bond happens a lot too. Another thing is I can help him change. You want to be the fixer, right? I can help him change if I just love and I support him or her. I can help her change if I just support her and I'm there for her and I show her that I'm this amazing guy and that I'm going to do whatever I can because I'm going to win if I show her that I'm the good guy. And here's the thing is we've been taught this in Hollywood movies and stories and things like that, but it doesn't always pan out like that, right? I think it's really empowering for a man to be more of guiding her as a friend and not having an expectation to be with this woman, and really seeing yourself as empowering for yourself and challenging yourself and saying, why do I want someone that isn't even healed yet? Why do I want someone that doesn't even feel like they're lovable yet? Because if someone can't love themselves, then they're not going to be able to love you. They are only to love themselves as much as they're only to love you as much as they love themselves. And typically that's not even enough. And the last thing too is why we justify abuse is he deserves a fair, like he or she deserves a fairness, like they deserve like a good man. And so we just say that, she doesn't mean to hurt me. She doesn't mean to do it. It's just because that she's going through this and that and that. But we start making excuses for their behavior. And in these excuses for the behavior, we will lose ourselves. So you'll notice also too, how the abuser's behaviors typically, or the toxic relationship, or the person that's manipulative, or the trauma bond that you might be experiencing is justified, right? By the victim blaming themselves as it's their fault for the abuse, right? It's this whole manipulation thing that can happen. And what's really important is what we do here is how to stop trauma bonding, okay? Here are the 5 ways to stop trauma bonding. If you're experiencing this, or if you are trying to find your way out of it, or you are in a relationship that's probably not the healthiest, or you are really in love with someone, unfortunately, that is in another relationship, which I wouldn't advise at all. But number 1 thing is always take your time to get to know someone in order to not get into these type of relationships. Find out about their past, right? Find out about what are their wants, what are their needs, what do they want for their future? What is it about them, right? Find out more, take your time. Pace yourself, because how we get into unhealthy relationships is we don't pace ourselves. Number 2 is never jump straight in because it just feels good, right? This is how we get into trauma relationships, because typically when someone has some type of trauma within them, they're chasing this high. So it feels so good. And this woman is all about you and it makes you feel so amazing as a man. But then yet when that is all over and the butterflies are gone, and then finally both of you get a commitment, you notice she's showing up differently. Typically, when you go all in, you've got to be really careful with these relationships. It should have a natural pace. Number 3 is you got to look out for the red flags, right? We got to look out for the red flags in abusive behavior, manipulative behavior, such as feeling pressured or controlled in any way, right? So feeling pressured or controlled in any way, or inconsistencies, really. And tip number 5 is make sure what you see is what you will really get, right? And how we do this is there's no hidden truths that come out later, right? And how we really do this is because we take our time. And the biggest thing I can say from this whole video, guys, is that if you don't take your time in understanding these type of relationships, these women that are in front of you, not every woman is an angel. Not every guy is a blessing, right? So here's the thing is we have to understand the reason why we're letting these people in. Is it because we're like, oh, I never get women at all, and this one woman finally gave me an opportunity, but she's unhealthy, so I'm going to try to make it work? No. This means that there's an area in your life that you need to change if you really want love. Why aren't you getting any woman? What do we need to work on? Do we need to work on health, weight, mindset, goals, purpose, going out there, community, having friends? There's something for everybody, and there's someone for everybody. So it's really important that we're living intentionally, that we're living purposefully, so we don't find ourselves settling for something less and trying to convince ourselves that we should be in these type of relationships because we come from a place of lack or scarcity, or we're believing those negative thoughts that have been trained in our subconscious and our patterns because of childhood, abuse, behaviors, past relationships, divorces, whatever the case may be. Every day is a new day, and we have a chance to turn this around. If this is something that you're experiencing, I encourage you to download my Break Free of Codependency course. My Break Free of Codependency course will be down below in the description box. This is a personal development course that will help you stand with integrity, have boundaries, have goals in life, and really learn how to communicate with women in general and just in regards to your relationships. You also have access to my VIP membership coaching, monthly coaching, and you're one of my VIP members, so you have first access to everything. You'll find out more below in the description box as well. As always, I love hearing from you. Comment below, like this video if it helped you today, and I'll see you again in the next one. Remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.